Hello everyone, I got 5 jokes for you today. An elderly woman is cruising down the highway at a breakneck speed when she spots a police officer wielding a speed gun. As expected, the officer motions for her to pull over. Grumbling, the old lady steers her car to the side of the road and waits for the officer to approach her. The police officer, visibly annoyed, walks up to the car window and asks her, "Ma'am, what on earth is the reason for your speeding?" "Well, you see, officer," the old lady responds, trying to seem innocent, "I'm late for work, and I can't afford to be tardy." The officer, skeptical, raises an eyebrow and replies sarcastically, "Oh, really? And just what kind of work do you do that's so important?" The elderly woman calmly replies, "I'm a rectal distender." Taken aback, the cop asks, "A what?" "A rectal distender? And what does that job entail?" The old lady proceeds to explain, "Well, officer, I begin by inserting one finger into the rectum, then another, gradually working my way up to 3 fingers, 4 fingers, and eventually my whole hand. I continue to work the rectum from side to side, stretching it until I can fit both hands in. Then, I carefully and persistently widen the rectum until it reaches a diameter of about 6 feet. The officer's eyes widen in disbelief, and he exclaims, "And what in the world do you do with a 6-foot wide asshole?" The old lady replies, "Well, you give him a speed gun and place him alongside the road." Dorothy and Edna, 2 elderly widows and longtime friends, are enjoying a warm cup of tea together in Dorothy's cozy living room. Dorothy hesitantly starts the conversation, "You know, that charming George Johnson asked me out for a date yesterday. I'm aware you went out with him just last week, Edna," she continues, "and I was hoping to discuss it with you before I give him my answer. I trust your judgment after all." Edna, leaning back in her chair, chuckles and replies, "Oh, dear Dorothy, let me fill you in on what transpired last week. George showed up at my apartment right on time at 7 p.m., looking dapper in a fine suit, and presented me with the most exquisite bouquet of flowers I have ever seen. Then he escorted me downstairs, and to my astonishment, there was a luxurious limousine with a uniformed chauffeur waiting for us. We went out for an unforgettable dinner, lobster, champagne, a decadent dessert, and fine after-dinner drinks. It was truly a night to remember. After dinner, we attended a mesmerizing show. Dorothy, I must tell you, I enjoyed it so much that I could have just died from pleasure. But then, on our way back to my apartment, he suddenly transformed into an animal. He became wildly passionate, tearing off my brand new, expensive dress and had his way with me not once, but twice." Dorothy, eyes wide, exclaims, "Goodness gracious, Edna, that's quite a story. So, are you advising me not to go out with him?" Dorothy asks, nervously fidgeting with her teacup. Edna, with a mischievous smile, replies, "Oh no, dear friend, not at all. I'm just saying, make sure you wear an old dress." A redneck from a small town goes to see the doctor for a routine checkup. He's a little anxious as he hasn't been to the doctor in years. After a thorough examination, the doctor looks concerned and says, "Well, Mr. Smith, you have some issues with your heart, but if you take these tablets I'm prescribing, I think you'll be just fine." The doctor hands the redneck the prescription, and the man, still a bit confused, asks, "Doc, do I have to take him every single day?" "No," replies the doctor, "take one on Monday, then skip Tuesday. On Wednesday, take another one, but skip Thursday. Continue alternating like this, and it should help regulate your heart." Feeling relieved, the redneck thanks the doctor and heads home to start his new medication routine. 2 weeks later, the doctor is walking down Main Street, running some errands, when he spots the redneck's wife, Mrs. Smith. "Hello, Mrs. Smith," he says with a smile. "How's your husband doing? Is he feeling any better?" "Oh, doctor," Mrs. Smith replies, her voice cracking, "he passed away from a heart attack just a few days ago." The doctor is shocked and saddened. "I'm terribly sorry to hear that, Mrs. Smith. I was sure that if he took those tablets, his heart would improve." "Oh, the tablets were just fine, Doc," says Mrs. Smith, wiping a tear from her eye. "It was all that dang skipping that killed him." Jenny had been working in a toxic environment for years, constantly dealing with rude and nasty coworkers, as well as a sleazy boss. One day, She finally decided she had enough and mustered up the courage to quit her job and start her own business. After setting up her new office and getting everything in order, she decided to share the news with her close friend, Kate. She sent her a message, proudly saying, "Kate, I finally took the leap and left my awful job behind. I've started my own business, and I couldn't be happier." Delighted to hear this news, Kate wanted to celebrate her friend's newfound freedom and success. She decided to order a beautiful bouquet of flowers to be delivered to Jenny's new office as a surprise. The following day, a stunning bouquet of flowers arrived at Jenny's office, but when she read the attached note, she was shocked. It read, "Rest in peace." Confused and slightly alarmed, Jenny called Kate and asked if she had sent the flowers. Kate, equally puzzled, explained that there must have been a mix-up at the florist since her note was intended to be a cheerful and supportive message. Annoyed by the error, Kate immediately called the florist to address the issue. "We're terribly sorry," the lady on the other end apologized. "We understand your frustration, but please bear with us as we're currently trying to sort out another mix-up as well." She continued, "You see, there's a funeral happening across town that just received a bouquet of flowers with a note that says, 'It's about time you left those shitheads behind. Enjoy your new freedom.'" On their way to their wedding ceremony, a young Catholic couple found themselves in a tragic car accident, which unfortunately claimed their lives. After the accident, the couple found themselves standing outside the pearly gates, awaiting St. Peter's arrival to usher them into heaven. While they waited, they began to wonder about the possibility of getting married in heaven, seeing as they never had the chance to exchange their vows on earth. When St. Peter finally appeared, the couple eagerly asked him if they could proceed with their wedding plans in heaven. St. Peter, clearly taken aback, replied, "I'm not quite sure. This is the first time anyone has ever inquired about such a matter. Allow me to consult with the heavenly authorities and I'll get back to you." So, the couple patiently waited for St. Peter's return, which took several months. In the meantime, they contemplated the implications of getting married in heaven. Considering the eternal nature of their afterlife, they debated the merits of tying the knot. They wondered, what if the marriage didn't work out as they hoped? Would they be stuck together in heaven for all eternity? After 3 long months, a weary-looking St. Peter returned with an answer. "Yes," he confirmed, "you can indeed get married in heaven." "Fantastic," exclaimed the couple. "But we've been discussing this at length, and we have one more question. If, for some reason, our marriage doesn't work out, would it be possible to get a divorce in heaven?" Upon hearing this, St. Peter's face turned beet red with anger, and he slammed his clipboard on the ground, startling the couple. "What's the matter?" they asked, trembling with fear. St. Peter, unable to contain his frustration, shouted, "Oh, come on. It took me 3 months just to find a priest up here in heaven. Do you have any idea how long it's going to take me to find a lawyer?